All right, here's a use case. I've got a text that I just turned into a mesh. This is a use case for bevel joints add-on and something I'm finding a good workflow for my render scope add-on. This is pretty fun. So I've got to color this. I want this X to just be red. Very, very simple. So we'll just do the thing. Actually, I may not want to color it yet because I think bevel joints is going to wipe out everything because it creates the new mesh. So what we'll do is we'll just select this because I want to join these two objects together. And then I want to add a bevel and kind of clean things up. So what we can do is just click join and boom. Now with bevel joints, we've got this nice setup here. And this is pretty good. I got a little bit of funk shading going on. No big deal. I'll add a weighted normals. Looks a little bit funkier. But I just need to tighten up all the corners here. Let's add a vertex bevel. And the vertex bevel was this edge that was connected. It's just one of the benefits of having the add-on, so you can add a nice bevel. Now I'll come down here and add a kind of universal bevel and tighten it up just a little bit more. And I can iterate through the different bevel levels. And I think something like a 2 is going to work good because I've got a kind of a superseding bevel there. And I may want to, let's see, I don't want to take the edge bevel off, really? Yeah, I'll take it off. No big deal, because this one bevel is going to do it, and then I can kind of play around with everything here. All right, so that looks good. I don't think I kept the color. Nope, didn't keep the color. But what I want to do is just take up an orthographic view, hit Control-Alt-0 for the camera. And so now the camera is going to be zoomed in, like right on that spot. So that's fine. And now I've got render scope enabled. So I can just press P. And I've got it locked to camera view. And what this is going to do is dynamically update the render resolution. So if we were to go into cycles here, we'll be able to see the, wait a minute, I haven't done this in a hot minute. So here's the XY resolution, and this add-on will auto adjust this. So what I want to do is just kind of trim the viewport down, and I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit because I'm making a button. And so the viewport is my camera. So anything that's in the viewport is going to be in there. And it may not be the most efficient, but this workflow is working really good for me. So if I just come in here and I did get some, there, let's switch back to solid. I did get some kind of funkiness here. Let's see, can I just fill these? I think so. Not exactly sure why those came up like that. Not a big deal. And I should be able to fill all of that. And boom, so that looks clean. That's nice. Oh, I think that was bad geometry from converting it from a text to geometry. Okay, so that's cool. That's what that was all about. So I gotta fix the camera view back. Let's press P and 1. It's a little tricky. I'm still getting the workflow down, but with the modal enabled for this, I can just kind of line this up in the viewport, and this is my camera size. And so now it's 908 by 933. Maybe that's not helpful, but I'm just going to play around with this, and I do want to color that. So let's switch to Eevee. I'm using the render switch for this one. It's not done yet. You can still see I got some dummy buttons on there. And I'm going to just turn that modal off. I'm going to play around here. Hope y'all can follow what I'm doing. I want a second material actually. Click new, and then we'll assign this material to the X, which is selected. And that can kind of be in the zone of red. And then the other one can just be like a gray, kind of metallic. Both metallic. Looks fine. I like that. And now I'm just going to render this out as is. And I'll render that. And this is going to be the viewport size. And I've also, like I said, I got render switch enabled. So when I come back over here, it's going to switch in the viewport for me. Oh, you didn't see it. and it's going to tell me out where the saved file was. It's kind of cool. Be releasing that version here soon, but I'm going to take this image, save. Let's go into render switch, icons, and we'll just call this the red X. And I'm trying to get some icons working for the add-on here. So I'm just kind of give y'all some fun dev mode stuff. Let's go back to my workspace. I got to import that as a file. And pull this in. It's okay if you can't follow everything I'm doing. I'm just kind of demoing out at the moment. And so this has a green checkbox if the condition is true and the file is saved. I want to export the add-on. Export the add-on, install it in a non-saved file. So go to render switch, put it here with next iterations 0 to 4, and we'll pull up a new Blender in my other screen. Give me 2 seconds. And that was cool just to join that. That makes the geometry so nice, by the way. Yeah, that's clean. That's bevel joints add-on. You guys go pick that up. There'll be a link for it. Let's drag this over. Whoa. And do an install. Add-on. Disk switcher version 4. Boom. And it says file not saved, which is what it's supposed to say. If the file's not saved, that's cool. And yeah, there you go. Don't lose your work. File not saved. Everything looks good. The checkbox did show up here. That's nice. And the X should show up if I turn this off. Boom, there's the X. That's not too bad. You can see that. I got to play around with the lighting a little bit since I'm making my own icons. It's not as pronounced as it could be. If you turn this back on, you've got the checkbox. That's cool. And that'll be render switch, which you can actually pick up free. There's been like dozens and dozens of people downloading this thing already. So run in there and get it while it's still free, guys. What it's going to do is when you go into render, and we can come back to my other Blender file here. When you come back in and you've got a render set up, what's going to do, if all this is enabled, and you'll have some switch to GPU and cycles and stuff, different things. What it's going to do is when you render, it's going to switch back to solid mode for like 1 second and dump that viewport render memory. And then it'll switch you back to cycles or wherever you were, more than likely cycles. And yeah, so that's kind of what's going to be going on there. And so when you render, it'll render out and the screen will switch back at the end of the render if that is enabled. And yeah, and then it shows you the file will save itself right before the render starts, which is cool. And it'll display what it saved and where it saved the blend file. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be the upgraded version, but you can go get the free version that just switches the viewport and dumps the memory and saves you from crashing. And yeah, that's it. Said a lot to say a little. You guys have a good one.